Hey guys, I'm James from the JCW Register, and I thought I'd run through some of the things that actually makes a R53 JCW a JCW. The checks that you need to make before you purchase a car, or to verify that your JCW is in fact actually a JCW. There's a few things that the kit included that we need to run through, and you need to make sure that you're not actually getting confused with some of the pretty bits that were options for JCWs, because they were put on Cooper S's. There's been a lot of years since they were actually fitted, so I guess we're going to run through it and figure it out together. So one of the things that most JCWs should have, but have been lost over the years, is the certificate. So when these were fitted at the dealership or at John Cooper garages, depending on where you are in the world, the kit came with a tuning kit certificate as a certificate of authenticity. This had the tuning kit number, which should match your rocker cover. In this particular case, it does not match my rocker cover. This is actually a reproduction certificate. So if you're in the S18000s, it's highly likely, make sure you do your due diligence on it. There's a lot of repopped kits around the S18000 mark where you could just buy a certificate and a rocker cover plaque. So early kits, A4 certificate size, later kits, A5 certificate size, where you get to figure out exactly when the cutover point was. So usually you'd have a certificate of authenticity that would be handed out with the car, and it also had a registration form which was meant to go back, I believe, for warranty purposes. In most cases it didn't. Sometimes it's included with your car. It usually has the dealer number and the dealer stamp, the date the kit was fitted, the VIN of the car, and the vehicle mileage that it was fitted at. Same with your certificate of authenticity. It should have the date that your kit was fitted and also the VIN number for your car. So that's another good point to cross-reference. So cross-reference your S kit number to your rocker cover plaque, cross-reference your VIN to your vehicle VIN, and make sure they match up. So unfortunately, these have been reproduced, so these aren't necessarily a guarantee on your car's authenticity. So let's run through the other checks and we'll have a look. All right, so one of the first sort of telltale signs is a R53 JCW should have a Generation 1 JCW logo. I'll pop it up on the screen, just up here in an image. But there should be one in the front grille just here, and there should be another one on the rear. Follow me around. And there should also be the same matching logo on the left-hand side of the boot lid. Sometimes people put them under the Cooper S one on the other side, so people weren't paying attention to the fitting instructions, but alas, that does happen. Now, next thing exterior-wise that you can sort of tell a JCW from is the exhaust tips should be engraved with John Cooper Works. Both JCW 200s and 210s both had this, and they also had a back box section. Basically, the difference between your JCW back box and your Cooper S back box is that your JCW back box has two back boxes side by side with the pipes running out from the center, into them, and then to the rear. A Cooper S back box will come in, go into one box, loop back across to the other, and then out the back. All right, so the other thing that a JCW includes, you need to pop the bonnet. Some of the obvious signs also are a JCW silver intercooler cover. So it should have John Cooper Works included down the side. It'll have a red S logo. This intercooler is a standard size, so there's no measurement difference between it. You should also have a John Cooper Works plaque on the top of your rocker cover with an S number. So that is your individual kit number. The next spot to look is on the face of the cylinder head here. If you look down through, there's a little round circle there. Now, if this is a JCW, that should be emblazoned with a red emblem on the early kits. The later kits on the factory cars, they didn't have this. There should also be an etched number across the face here that says RA. That's a JCW serial number for the cylinder head. Now, these aren't necessarily always at the top. I'll include a picture of where it can also be stamped, so you might need a bore scope to recognise that. Supercharger pulleys. If you have a look down through here, you can see the face of your supercharger. On the face of your supercharger, there is meant to be a white dot for a JCW supercharger pulley. That's an 11% reduction pulley, and that's another good spot that you can check. Now, if you had a JCW 210, or if you're looking at a 200 kit, or even just trying to determine what was the kit originally, a JCW 210 should have this airbox. The JCW 200 only had a Cooper S airbox. So if you've got this one, it's likely a 210. Now, again, another check that you can make is the 210s also included blue injectors. Now, if you look down through here, you can just see that blue poking through. That's the injector. If you have a blue injector and a lot of these other bits and pieces, you can be pretty sure that you have a JCW 210. Now, all of this theoretically could still be mocked up. You don't really know. So one of the checks that I also like to make is cross-referencing your certificate, the date that it was fitted, or if you don't have a certificate, to verify that this is an originally dealer-fitted car, you can go to your ECU, just here, okay? If you just want to gently pull this lid off, there's 2 push clips and it pops up if you don't have one of these strut bars on. And sometimes they put the tuning sticker in the lid of this, or if it's not on the lid of it, it's on the side of the ECU. So you might have to safely go around, disconnect your battery, and gently lift out that ECU after disconnecting the plugs. That will tell you on that sticker which dealership fitted the kit, the date that they fitted it. They won't say whether it's a 200 or a 210. Now, this is something that is across the board everywhere. It's part of the tuning kit instructions.
All right. To recap, we need to run through what did a JCW kit include. So the JCW 210 included an upgraded cylinder head. It had enlarged exhaust ports, an 11% reduction supercharger pulley, 1-step colder spark plugs, a JCW catback exhaust with decorative tips, replacement JCW supercharger, which was a Teflon coated supercharger, a remapped ECU, decorative badges front and rear of the car, an individually serial numbered rocker cover plug, a certificate of authenticity, and a decorative intercooler cover. So when we get into the JCW 210, a lot of these are the same. So we had the upgraded cylinder head, we had the 11% reduction supercharger pulley, the 1-step colder plugs, the same exhaust setup, also same replacement JCW supercharger. We also had a remapped ECU, however the mapping was different from the 200 due to the 380cc injectors. So we also had the decorative badges, the individually serial numbered rocker cover plaque, certificate of authenticity, decorative intercooler cover, and the point of difference is the 380cc blue injectors that we see, and also the JCW 210 airbox, which has a pod filter design internally. So then we get over to what are our checks that we can do to actually verify this. So we've run through where you can see these on the car. So we'll pull this up. So looking for the cylinder head on the dealer fitted kits, there'll be a red dot to the left of the intercooler horn on the left hand side. See the images on our website, or on factory kits they don't tend to have the red dot. So there's no real easy way to identify these heads without, say, pulling off your exhaust headers and measuring the ports. Next up, rocker cover plug. Pretty obvious. It's going to be sitting right on the top of your rocker cover with the serial number identifying the kit, and this is meant to match the certificate. Now, Teflon coated supercharger and the 11% reduction pulley. So best method is measuring your supercharger pulley, standard diameter 65mm versus JCW should be a 58.2. There should also be a white mark on the JCW pulley. Now, ECU tune wise, on the dealer fitted kits, the best method is to disconnect the battery safely, remove the ECU cover on the right hand side of the airbox, and safely remove that ECU. So there should be a JCW sticker on the side of it with a fitment date and the fitting dealer attached. So it won't tell you whether it's 200 or 210, but at least it tells you something. This should also match the VIN number on your car. So you've seen these pictures elsewhere. So on the ECU, there's usually a VIN number on it. I believe pre-facelifts are pretty obvious. The facelifts aren't quite as obvious. So if in doubt, just cross-reference it. The year on the ECU should match basically close to the year on the car as well. So next up, JCW certificate of authenticity. If the car has it, check the VIN matches the car and the kit number matches the serial number on the rocker cover. So unfortunately, a lot of these certificates have been reproduced. So if it's A5, it could either be a later one or it could be a repop. We've seen an awful lot of those, unfortunately. So we just have to wait and see. Now, continuing, the JCW 200 and 210 shared checks. Other one, JCW exhaust. Look under the car. A JCW exhaust goes from the center and splits out into a Y pipe into 2 mufflers that are sort of ovalized in shape. It's also engraved on the back boxes saying JCW, and it's got a few other bits and pieces there. And then from the mufflers, it'll go to the rear of the car. It also has decorative JCW engraved tips saying John Cooper Works. And if you're looking and you're not too sure, a Cooper S exhaust will have the pipe run up the center, and then it'll dive off to one side into a back box that looks a bit like a potato, and then it'll dive across to another potato-looking back box on the other side, and then out the center. So the pipes won't come from both sides. A lot of aftermarket exhausts, however, follow a similar design to the JCW exhaust. Now, we get into our JCW 210 specific checks because all these other ones apply to a 200, but it also applies to your 210. So when you're looking at your specific checks for these, your JCW airbox, pretty obvious. Look at the airbox. It'll have a JCW logo on the top of it, and inside it, if you want to check it, it should have a pod-style air filter, whereas a Cooper S has a panel filter, or your 200 also has a panel filter there because it didn't get that airbox. Then you've got your 380cc blue injectors. So to locate these, looking from the left-hand side of the engine, as we discussed, you want to look from the engine mount side of the motor on the left-hand side there and look underneath the intercooler, and you should see blue injectors. The standard size injectors are a cream color injector. So I hope that this really helps. This pretty well covers all of our recap as to what we've covered in the video. If you want to see more, jump onto the JCW Register website. There's some pictures there displaying all this stuff, and also a brief knockdown as to exactly what that includes. That's been a fantastic tool over the years, and people have thoroughly enjoyed using that. We've had a fair bit of feedback over the years, tweak stuff, so check that out. Great guide. But I thought time to put it into a video form. So here it is. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. This channel will occasionally be covering some more of my mini ventures, but it's also for some of my Volkswagen ventures as well. We race cars here in Australia, and I love my minis, but I also love my Volkswagens as well. So like the video if it's helped you out. Comment, share it with those that are looking for JCWs, and I'm sure we'll see you on the website at some stage or another, or I'll see you around on the Facebook groups. Thanks.